What makes the 5D collective, mystics and not, different? Well, for one, we have secure attachment and we treat each other with mutual respect. So we stay whole, open hearted when we're building our relationships. And with our clairs, we don't get distracted, we don't go on Elsa's journey. We already know it's about our whole 3-year-old heart. And for those who don't have that 3-year-old heart, they do get back to their whole self. So one, we're able to have open-hearted, always conversations, and that's in all of our relationships, including romance, love types. So intimacy, by the way, does not mean that you're touching each other or in any way, shape, or form. Intimacy means that you have a relationship here with yourself, and a lot of people, they don't. When I see Coos goes out there and squirrels, and we're gonna get to that in a minute, so they don't know how to delight in themselves. They don't know how to do synergy or alchemy. The 4D mystics keep talking about endings, energy vampires, leeches, dark auras, and a lot of other words. So when you know how amazing it is to be yourself, it is because of a lovely mindset that allows expansion of consciousness, inner growth to take place, and you have healthy self-worth. You need to have the ability to love yourself first to actually be able and share love, because otherwise you have a poor embodied self-awareness, which may not be very accurate due to your implicit bias, your religious bias, political bias, your personality bias, your whole family bias. So you are the first 3 years of your life implicit memory. Anything that comes up emotionally has a reason. In fact, those poor children who did not get a 1/3 attunement, a secure home, so the safe haven, secure base. So if you don't get a third attunement and repairing ruptures, you don't learn how it's okay to get into arguments. You also need, thank you, Gabor Mate, to be lovingly accepted just the way you are, to not have to work for love. And a lot of people, that's why they think romance is hard work. No, no, very easy. We're building a snowman like 3-year-olds. That's it. If it makes any sense to you to do hard work, you don't know healthy self-worth yet. So lovingly accepted, not work for love. Oh yes, the basic emotion. So when you're able to express your little child self, like the energetic, wild thing you're going to be. Yes, thank you, Mom. You don't have suppression, and therefore you don't get rage because you haven't been mistreated, shamed as an infant child growing up because some adult didn't have the patience to learn how to, one, stop impeding on a poor child's energy, and or at the very least say, you know what, I'm so sorry I interrupted your play because you were having fun. And so we still have grown-ups who don't know how to be authoritative. That's the ideal attachment parenting style. I'm not a parent. I don't want to be a parent. I feel bad when I see children. And I do know, yes, parents try the best. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. So I have compassion, understanding. I also know a lot of people don't look into attachment or trauma information, not only not for their couple relationship. So when I see somebody doing what I found very interesting and hypocritical, because you seem to think you're empowered and an independent human being. I'm going to say that if you're committed to one human being as your highest priority in life, yes, that's a definite codependent type relationship. It's a meshing. You have no differentiation of the self. Like everything is surrounding one person. Now, everybody's different. I'm in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, so I have my whole self. Relationship soul age group, they still learn about their self through those exchanges. So just FYI, 5D collective is functional adults. So at the very least, we got people who know how to be their own. They want to be their own self. Safe haven means that you can regulate your nervous system. When I have my panic attacks, I don't need somebody. Of course, it's supportive to have somebody, but no, sometimes it's not, because they're actually trying to dig deeper because they're re-traumatizing themselves without being aware that they actually have trauma. So they literally, it's like people picking. Yes, this has happened to me once. I felt very off. Thank you, Daniel Siegel, for helping me know what enmeshing and when somebody's trying to fit you in their little puzzle. So see, 4D, they talk about people again as energy vampires, dark auras, or leeches, and I'm like, these are all human beings. You need to stop dehumanizing them. They have trauma. They need to get therapists. Now that they don't want to go to therapy, this is where I was saying squirrels are the blamers who become victims, and they in fact then have rage, and they actually, whether it's twin flames, soulmates, or whatever it is, they continue to justify their rage, and they go with bystanders. That's the part of why they don't recover from the trauma safety behavior of controlling a situation with, I don't trust anyone, not even myself, because you're not embodying self-awareness. You're completely not in your bilateral integration, there's impaired bilateral integration. You're in a structural dissociation moment, which is why you're reliving whatever first 8 years of your life, because those first 3, again, implicit, there's no words. It's all sensations, images, affects, meanings, behavior. Your behavior is not to be pathologized. A good therapist will explain to you your brain, it protects you. So when you were 0-1, if you did not receive secure attachment, authoritative type environment, you didn't have a safe haven, secure base environment, means that your first year of life, you're not actually in your mammalian heritage. That's why your heart doesn't stay open. Nope, it actually shuts down your emotional body and you are no longer friends because your infant brain needs to protect you. It's too much. The environment is frightening, neglectful, abusive, whichever one. And like Daniel Siegel says, every person does their best as parents, so nobody's going to blame anyone. The blame, shame, fault, and revenge, those 4 things are all adaptive children. That means an emotionally not accountable, mature human being who is not self-aware. And whenever you have any implicit bias come up, if you're grown up, and that's what the 5D collective is, we take emotional awareness, accountability. So yeah, it's not bloody hard work to commit. Commitment means that you and I delight in each other, for one. But in order for me to delight in you, for me to delight in you, I must delight in myself. This is why it's amazing to be a 5D mystic, enlightenment soul age group, or 5D functional adult, either or. Let's talk about that, because when you grow up, thanks mom, in a safe, secure household, and you have the inclination to choose love again and again and again, to stay kind, you look to your childhood, you look to your adolescent, you look to everything, your romance, and you're like, I've expanded so much. I've learned how to unconditionally love you and more. And remember, the mystics, the 5D mystics, we're actually true divine feminines. We don't break away from Akash, which is why we're not squirrel attitude. When someone does something that we don't like, we don't justify the revenge or rage and what I've seen 4D do in camera, or lo and behold, as I get talked, what I think when they tell me is, okay, how do I inform them of trauma bonding? How do I inform them of limerence? How do I inform them they are actually a person who is now becoming an aggressor, and they actually fit the very descriptions of misanthropy, misandry, misogyny, and misogamous. So none of them are actually moving towards love. They literally just justified their unfinished business trauma, projected it on another human being, and now they want to create a saga out of it. That's not love in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, when you have no healthy sense of self-worth, that's why you don't know how to say, you know what, I'm so sorry that we're not on the same page. When, on the other hand, you do. Let's talk about that. So we don't make one human being our commitment, because it seems kind of like, wow, seriously, do you not have other interests? Okay, but I'm a whole self. So let me explain. That means my 0-1-year-old, thanks mom, is independent. So I don't long for you to love me. I enjoy you. As I said, delight. Where are you? Here we go. Delighting means our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. And that's why loving oneself first is going to be essential. If you cannot delight in yourself, you can't stay open-hearted with me and have what are great conversations. When, on the other hand, you can, one, new challenging situations are possibilities, not problems. Thank you, Sadhguru. 2, your contribution to the world and mine is our own self. So we get to live however we want, be joyful, and we get to think of our herd, which is why healthy self-worth people, mutual respect, grow through healthy conflict. We see and appreciate each other as a team, a herd, just the way we are. We enjoy the differences and accept them. So polyamory, monoamory, religious, not religious. Nobody is saying politics. Nobody is like insulting what the adaptive children do. Healthy, functional adults, yes. Effective communication. And that's because, again, there's no shame, blame, fault, or revenge, because equanimity and open-heartedness is here, because healthy self-worth means I know I'm not superior and inferior to you. I have flaws and imperfections just like you do. But I know how to alchemize, make everything that comes from within me actually rise to the potential of synergy. It's really amazing when you have differences, because differences are what... Yeah, so when I get to have my lovely different conversations, they're just amazing. Intellectually speaking, emotionally speaking, physically speaking, those who are part of a herd in the 5D collective, we love to look at mysticism as well as academia and educators, because humanity is evolving, expanding, and learning how to return home to their whole 3-year-old heart. So let's support healing trauma seriously, not the way of other people. And tune in for more.